So I'm going to admit something. I'm having a love affair with the ocean, with fire, with water, with air, and with space, and with spirit. Actually, we all do. Otherwise, we wouldn't be alive. I was thinking about, they call it the Panchbhutas, the 5 elements. Mostly, I think I'm sort of courting water, the ocean of consciousness, and in this, I discover my essence, and my essence is Sat. Sat is the quintessence that makes me me versus anybody else. And Yam is anything other than the essence or quintessence. So this is all that there is. What makes me me essentially, and what is other than the essence that is me. And together form SatYam. Sat is also like the oil that you get from any seed. The essence of any seed is basically an oil. We have groundnut oil, we have sesame, we have coconut. We have different kinds of seeds, yeah? And the essence of those seeds is basically is the essence of that seed, yeah? Is an oil. Similarly, when you consider that each one of us is basically a seed born to a mother and father, born from a mother and father, and grown up in a womb, and then from there we came to be. We were each born. Our umbilical cord is proof, yeah, that we were born inside a mother's womb. And if we consider that being a seed, just like any other seed, our essence is also, we can call that is a kind of oil that lubricates the machine that we are, yeah. So when the oil that we are essentially is well taken care of, well managed, well maintained, then our body, which is the vehicle in which which is our first home, in which we experience life, and because of which we have the life we have, functions on well-oiled wheels, because a body is lubricated with the essence of who we are, basically. So that forms Sat. And how does Sat get enriched? How does Sat get formed? How does Sat interact with everything? Is by interaction with Yam. Yam is anything other than the essence that I am, or each one of us is. We each are different kinds of seeds, yeah, born to different parents, different environments, different circumstances, but we are each a unique seed, born at different times. I mean, we all have 2 hands, 2 legs, a head. We look alike, but we are each unique person. Yeah, we each have our own constitution. Now, if you consider that any dish that is being made is made from oil, and to oil we add different things. We add mustard, we add curry leaves, we add green chilies, we add different kinds of spices, we add vegetables. A dish forms. So, but essentially what is happening is we are qualifying, making better the quality of oil. And when we consider our own self as essentially, having an oil, being of a certain oil, of different nature, our own unique constitution. And how do we enhance the flavor and the quality of the essential oil that we are? Is by the different experiences that we participate in, different people we interact with, how we interact with them, what we learn from them, what we imbibe into our life, what precipitates from our different experiences. All of this qualifies the Sat, the essential oil that we have, that we are, and we become that particular kind of a dish, and hence we are enhancing the quality, the flavor, the characteristic of the food that we are. What we eat, what we think, what emotions we feel, what experiences we have, all of them becomes us. Just as how we eat, what we eat becomes part of our essence and forms us. We become the food that we participate in, that we partake in. Yeah? And when we interact with somebody else, how we interact with them, depending on that, we provide the value, we become food for thought for somebody else, we become food for emotion, yeah, that kind of those kind of experiences, depending on how we interact with them. So we become the food for somebody else, depending on how we are interacting with them. And whose company we are in the presence of, that's the kind of food we are indulging in. And what we inculcate, what we imbibe from them, what we learn from them, is the food we choose to include into our being. So that becomes our Sat. And how Sat gets enhanced is by how Sat interacts with Yam. Yam is anything, anybody that is other than our essence. I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm hoping to make a point here. So discover the SatYam that you are. Discover what is essentially you, what constitutes your body, what constitutes your mind, what constitutes your soul, and then discover what is other than your body, mind and soul. So that forms the Yam. You discover what is your Sat, as in what your body, mind and soul is, and discover what is Yam, what is other than your body, mind and soul. And that's the way you discover what's your Satyam, what's your truth. Truth is an English word for it, but I think Satyam more encapsulates the idea that I'm speaking about here. And I'm speaking this idea from the Upanishads. Yeah, this is what I understand from reading the Upanishads. Discover the Satyam that you are, and then discover the Satyam. Try to know the Satyam that another person is, the Sat that another person is. Not by impinging into it, but by reflection. Like you are a mirror, you know what is your Satyam, what is you and what is other than you. And once you know what is essentially you, by reflection of what is other than you, you begin to discover what somebody else is. Because this is me, and I know this is what makes me me. So anything other than me, when I'm interacting with somebody, that is theirs. So that consequently, by reflection, you begin to know somebody else. Yeah. So, happy knowings.